Hey everybody, it's GoblinX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Rivals of Ixalan, which is part of the original Ixalan block. Rivals was the second set, and we're going to be drafting 3 packs of it instead of 2 packs of Rivals and 1 of Original, like the set initially was. But that whole spiel out of the way, basically, it's old original Ixalan stuff. So you're going to expect to see pirates, vampires, dinosaurs, merfolk, all that good stuff, as well as just one primary unique mechanic you might not have seen before, which is the Ascend mechanic, wanting you to have 10 or more permanents on board to get the City's Blessing and buff all of your Ascend cards. So really easy pack one, pick one here. Direfleet Poisoner is a ridiculous combat trick on a stick. It's a 2-mana 2/2 Death Touch that also has Flash to be cast at instant speed, which is already kind of an egregious trick, but it also gives an attacking pirate +1/+1 in Death Touch when it enters the battlefield. So you get to have one of your attacking pirates trade way up into whatever's blocking it. This is a really great rare and an excellent reason to start going into blue-black or blue-red pirates. And for pick 2, we've got a very easy follow-up with Impale, since this will let us stick to just mono-black for now, and pick between blue and red as our secondary color, or both, if we want to be a full 3-color pirate deck. So we'll go with the Impale here. Buccaneer's Bravado is an excellent pirate combat trick, so that is certainly also an option. Or the Bombard if we want to head into red-black pirates immediately. I think both these spells are pretty great, but for me, pretty easy Impale to stick to black. There's a very fun, very cool rare here with Zatalpa, which is 8 mana. It's really the only flaw of the card. If you can make it to 8 mana, you're almost definitely going to win the game with this, but there are some aggressive decks in this format. Basically, any of the creature type focused decks can kill you before you get to 8 mana if they have an aggressive enough curve. Primarily, that's going to be done with vampires, pirates, and merfolk. Not really the dino decks, those are pretty slow, but there are definitely fast decks available in the format, so 8 mana is a little bit of a hard sell. For pack 1, pick 3, we've got a perfectly reasonable pirate out of red with the Brazen Freebooter, going towards red-black. I guess I just take that. I'm not a huge fan of Pirates Pillage, and I don't think anything else out of blue or red, blue, black, or red really does much of anything in a pirate deck, so we'll take the Freebooter. I could also speculate on Resplendent Griffin. If pirates are just really heavily drafted, I do think blue-white flyers is one of the best archetypes in the format. It's my favorite archetype. I drafted it all the time at my local game store when the set was going on, and I don't think Freebooter's that great in a pirate deck, because by the time you reach 4 mana, you don't really need too much more, because most pirate decks are pretty aggressive, so I guess I will actually speculate on the Resplendent Griffin if blue-white flyers looks just way open, and a lot more open than pirates does. So we've got another Impale here. We've also got Fathom Fleet Border for just a 3-mana 3/3 pirate. As you can tell, this is a pretty old set. This is when the 3-mana 3/3s had to have downsides. So the creatures are definitely much weaker than modern Ixalan, the Lost Caverns of Ixalan. I think I just take another Impale here. I don't think Resplendent Griffin is a big enough reason to take a Luminous Bonds over Impale, because I think Impale is just better than Luminous Bonds, and we're slightly deeper into black than blue-white here, with a Direfleet Poisoner and an Impale. So we'll take another Impale. Pick number 5. Buccaneer's Bravado for the Great Pirate trick, the Freebooter to help splash in some blue if we go black, red, blue, or the Fathom Fleet Border to stick to just black pirate stuff. I'm just going to stick to mono black pirates for now. Lots of Legion Conquistadors. So somebody in a vampire deck, or just white in general, is going to have a field day with that. Well, what do we have here? There's one okay slow card for a pirate deck, the Recover. It's just a slower black graveyard recursion spell, it's fine. There's 2 really good cards for blue-white flyers, a second Resplendent Griffin, and Squire's Devotion's such an excellent aura to put on anything that's evasive. Unblockable creatures and flyers, makes it really hard for your opponent to outrace you because you have such this pocket of life gain, this siphon that is just keeping your life total high and helping you race. So I like both of these a lot. I'm going to take a second Resplendent Griffin. We have so many black spells here. I still think we're more likely to be in Pirates than Blue-White Flyers, but seeing 2 Resplendent Griffins flying around is pretty great for Blue-White Flyers. So I think what we probably want to do here is start pushing into blue as our secondary color, and then we've got a really nice path to either Blue-Black Pirates or Blue-White Flyers. We take something like a Kitesail Corsair here, and that's a premium card for either deck. A cheap evasive pirate or a cheap little flyer to chip damage in the blue-white decks. This works in either deck. Happy to take Kitesail Corsair. Crashing Tide also works in either deck. It's a great tempo play, but I'm going to grab another creature here for now since we do have the double Impale for interaction already. Now we have no good pirate cards, but we do have one card that's pretty good for a Flyers deck. Soul of the Rapids is a perfectly reasonable card to have at the top of your curve because it's really hard to interact with because of that hexproof. So we'll take the Soul of the Rapids there. Pick number 9, nice aggressive pirate with the 1 mana 2/1 basically. 1 mana 2/1 as long as it's attacking. Could also take Buccaneer's Bravado. These are kind of flying around the draft pod, which is pretty good. But I think we're trying to be blue-black pirates so that I have the blue-white Flyers backup plan. I mean, we're deeper into black than any other color anyway, so I'll take the Scoundrel here. Wow, pick 10 Bombard and Buccaneer's Bravado? Maybe there just weren't any good red pirates opened up this pack? Because these were some of the best cards in this pack, period. Initially, I was already excited about these. I guess I actually do take Bombard and start moving towards red. I think it's more flexible than Buccaneer's Bravado in terms of the people who are going to want to take it. So by taking Bombard, we potentially keep more people out of red than if we take Bravado. That is such a huge sign for red, though. That's kind of wild. Strider Harness feels like way too much mana, but maybe it's not as bad as I think, because the cards in general are all a bit overcosted by modern day standards. Pick 13 Buccaneers Bravado. Alright, well, as much as I'd love to draft blue-white Flyers every single draft, this feels like pick 13 Buccaneers Bravado means we're supposed to be on Pirates here. So Expel from Orazca is great for blue-black Pirates or blue-white Flyers. And I think that's the best card here, because the only other card is another Fathom Fleet Boarder, which might just come back. It's just a 3-mana 3/3, really. I guess a Brazen Freebooter could be okay. Take this Expel from Orazca, though. Now for pack 2, pick 2. We've got one of these 3-mana 3/3 pirates. We've got a Bombard, but if last pack was anything to go by, we'll just get that to wheel right back to us. There's a 2-mana 2/2 pirate with no other text. There's a 7-drop dinosaur, which is huge. Also 7 mana. What does our creature curve look like right now? I take all my non-creature spells and stick them in a pile. Got 1 1-drop, 2 2-drops. It's blue-black creature curve. We have no red creatures right now. So another Bombard going deeper into red feels a little awkward, and it might come back. I think I weirdly just take the 3-mana 3/3 Fathom Fleet Boarder here. Just start working on my creatures in this deck. Another Grasping Scoundrel looks good, but so does Moment of Craving. This is a great removal spell in an aggressive mirror match, because it buys you the time with that life gain while clearing out any small creature. I actually like Moment of Craving a lot. I'm going to take that over Fanatical Firebrand or Grasping Scoundrel, which would both be solid additions, because just 1-mana creatures to get attacking with are great with a Direfleet Poisoner as backup. But we're going to grab that Moment of Craving. Another Buccaneer's Bravado. There's also Dusk Charger, which I remember liking a good amount. You have to have the City's Blessing, but if you do, it's a 4-mana 5/5, so that's pretty reasonable. These Bravados have been going late, and we're potentially splashing in a third color, blue-black splash red, or red-black splash blue, so some fixing off Evolving Wilds could definitely be useful. Pick number 5, all the Bravados in the world, but we probably just need a 2-mana 2/2, honestly. And this does have random anti-dinosaur value. If we play against an opponent and they go Mountain Forest, we're like, yes, we did it. This is just Mind Rot. Yeah, it's not great. We'll take the Dinosaur Hunter. Pick number 6, all the Buccaneers bravados in the world. Let's just get those late and take a Grasping Scoundrel to up the creature count. Pick number 7. I don't think I'm playing a Dark Inquiry. This seems like a lot of mana. We do get to make our opponent discard whatever we want, which is nice, but I think I'd rather be playing to the board in this kind of deck. I'm just going to rare draft this thing. Pick number 8. Ooh, there we go. That is the kind of 2-drop I really wanted out of red. The 2-mana 2/1 Menace Pirate. That is a premium pirate. It's red's version of the Kitesail Corsair. I'll take the Trailblazer here over a 3rd Fathom Fleet Border, even though it's a little speculative because we don't know if red or blue is going to be more of a core color, and we don't really want to play 2-mana off-color cards. Like a 2-mana card of our splash color is going to be pretty hard to cast on curve. Okay, we did wheel the Fathom Fleet Border, which is great. We got another Dinosaur Hunter to fill out the curve. Got the Grasping Scoundrel to come back. Tuscadon's a fine finisher, even if we don't care about dinosaurs. It just does a lot of damage. Maybe we take that over a 3rd Scoundrel. I don't think so, though. I'm going to get so low curve here and get all these bravados to come right back around. I do really love the bravado ideas here, doing black-red at the core of this deck. Just slam in with these things, and whenever they get blocked, we get to bravado it up. We get to Dire Fleet Poisoner it up. It's a filler 4-drop if we want to try to be 2-color. Oh, wow. Oh my god. Neither of these is coming back, right? Somebody's going to splash in a Dire Fleet Neckbreaker or a Dire Fleet Poisoner. I mean, Dire Fleet Poisoner is less likely to come back because it's mono-colored. I don't think we get either of these back, but I do think we take Poisoner over the Neckbreaker because I think they're both really, really good at their mana costs. And there's a tiny chance we get Neckbreaker back, but there's 0 chance we get Poisoner back. I mean, with all the bravados going so late, the Bombard that went super late, maybe nobody wants this Neckbreaker but me. I'm crossing my fingers so hard, but Poisoner, the efficiency of that card makes it just as good as something that's super bomby and explosive like Neckbreaker. Okay, pack 3, pick 2, grab a Fanatical Firebrand for another 1-drop here and wheel the Fathom Fleet Border. Seems very good to me. Pack 3, pick 3 has a whole lot of nothing. Yeah, none of these cards are good. The Crown's very cute in dinosaur decks, because dinosaurs tend to have the Enrage mechanic that makes it so if they're dealt damage, they get to get a trigger. So you damage your dino and go crazy, but in a pirate deck, they're more awkward because we've got 1 toughness creatures that are just not going to wear the crown. I guess Dusk Charger. I did speak about how I kind of liked it. Just a 4-mana 5/5. It's definitely better than a Rosca Raptor, I think. Swaggering Corsair, 3-mana 3/3. It's basically more Fathom Fleet Borders, and we're going to get plenty of those. So I don't think I'd take that. Another Bombard seems fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 non-creature spells right now. We do have room for like 1 more non-creature, so I could have that be Bombard. I like Bombard better than Reckless Rage in this kind of deck. Reckless Rage is really good removal in a dinosaur deck that has tons of beefy creatures to shoot for 2 damage. But in this deck, we have so many 2 toughness creatures. It's going to be hard to be in a position where we can Reckless Rage without just actually killing one of our own creatures. So we'll go for the higher mana value removal like Bombard so that we don't have to shoot our own creature to do it. Now we take a Freebooter, which is probably better filler than the Rosca Raptor. Another Bombard, I don't think I have room for it, but there's nothing else in the pack I'm interested in. Unless we do go all 3 colors, then Sailor of Means can be fine. I mean, our only really good blue cards are just super low on the mana curve. I just don't think we're doing blue stuff here. Just take another Bombard. All the Bombards, all the red in the world, another Bravado as well. I love these all a lot. Creature counts at 15. I don't need that many more creatures, and we're going to wheel some borders. I'm going to take another Bravado. Get a Grasping Scoundrel. All right, pick 9 is the moment of truth to see if anybody's letting me get that Dire Fleet Neckbreaker. No! How is anybody playing pirates? There's like pick 8 Bombards and Bravados everywhere. They're probably in blue-black and splash in the red. That's sad. Alright. Grab the Dusk Charger, or they just drafted it for their collection. That could be a thing too. Grab the Fathom Fleet Boarder. Cry myself to sleep as we wrap up this draft. I do like having the entire chunk of 3/3 pirates here with the bravados, because the bigger your pirates are, the better that +1/+1 double strike can be. So we do want a chunk of 3/3 pirates in this deck. Alright, well, this is going to be a fun, aggressive pirates deck, even without a Dire Fleet Neckbreaker. We'll go real aggressive curve too. Let's just play 4 Scoundrels and a Firebrand. Just go for it. All pirates as well. I could have every creature in the deck be a pirate, which is really cute. We can go drop these, drop that, drop a land, boom. 15 land hyper aggro pirates. Let's do it. Let's do it. This is nice. Nice and different from our first deck as well. 15 black cards, 10 red, so 8/7 splits. Double black is more important because I'm pale as well, so definitely more black sources than red sources. Could even go 9/6 maybe, but I don't want to go that lopsided here. Yeah, this deck looks very real. Let's call it a deck here. All right, here we have a look at our final deck list for today. It's a hyper aggro pirates deck. We've got tons of 1-mana creatures, even with these grasping scoundrels that attack as 2/1s. The Firebrand that can trade off into a 1 toughness card if we need it to. Tons of 2-mana creatures as well with Dinosaur Hunters and the big rares in the deck, the Dire Fleet Poisoners, that hit the board as a combat trick that give any of our small little pirates Death Touch to trade way up into our opponent's giant blockers at any point in the game. And sometimes that +1/+1 could even be enough to just win a fight. So that's going to be really sweet. We've got a bunch of 3-mana 3/3s, which is normally not that exciting, but with our combat tricks in the deck, these could actually be really nice with 3 copies of Buccaneer's Bravado, turning them into 4/4 double strikers when we use this. So that can just do a ton more damage than our opponent was expecting and find lethal out of nowhere. We've also got tons of ways to clear a path with Moment of Craving for small creatures, 3 Bombards for mid-range creatures, and 2 Impales for even the largest creatures our opponents can cast. This looks like a really sweet, really streamlined Rakdos aggro pirates build, and I'm very excited to see how it does as we head into the gameplay. Here we are on the play for game 1. Definitely looking for a red source, but we've got our 1-2-3 curve to beat down with. I'm going to keep it. Our opponent takes a mulligan. Alright, here we go. Grasping Scoundrel, turn 1 to hit for 2 damage a turn. As long as it sticks around, our opponent starts with an island. We draw another 3-mana 3/3. So we do really want to hit land 3 on time here. But it could be any land in the deck. There's a 2/1, turn 2 from our opponent, and we did not hit land 3, which is very disappointing. We in fact hit another red spell, which could be an issue. We are in a 15 land deck, so we're definitely a bit lower on lands than usual. Turn 3 from our opponent, they have hit both colors and all 3 lands, and there's a Secrets of the Golden City to draw 2. There's the red source. Slightly late, but still in time to put a lot of pressure on our opponent here. Dropping a 3/3 down when we have a Bravado in hand is threatening a ton of damage. Again, if it gets through, it's going to be 8 damage if we cast a Bravado on it. So it's possible they tap out for a blocker here, we attack all, and they just block incorrectly and die. Because if the border gets in, and any 2-power creature gets in, that's 10 damage, and that's lethal. Plus, if they tap out for a 4-drop creature, if it has 4 less toughness, we could also just bombard it and attack with everybody. And that's a perfectly reasonable play as well. Tap out for a Hunt the Weak. If they attack, they're dead. They might, because it doesn't look like they're dead here. Okay, they did not attack, so they aren't dead. I don't really want a Bravado to kill this Corsair, and they're definitely going to block. They definitely wouldn't hold it up as a blocker and then just let everything in. So I think we bombard it here and hit for 5. Yeah, and then Bravado is lethal on anything that gets in next turn. Guiltgrove Stalker. That's it for now. Another red source is beautiful. Then I get to go for the Bravado kill while also going for a Firebrand. Let's just Firebrand away the Stalker, and this forces them to tap all their mana for something to not just be dead on board, and then if they tap out, we know exactly whether or not Bravado is going to kill them. Okay, Bravado is going to kill them. They put the border in our hand, they have no blockers, and we hit for 6. And that is 1-0 to start things off. Here we are for game number 2, another beautiful hyper-aggressive hand here. We are on the draw this time, so they get to start things off with that Mistcloaked Herald. But if they go for any blocks on the Scoundrel with a 1-1 like that, and we've got the double Direfleet Poisoner to win that fight, could be sick. So we attack in. If anything weird happens, we poison her. If not, we just play a Dinosaur Hunter. Okay, probably not going to do any poisoner stuff here then. Okay. Drop the Dinosaur Hunter. Now a Direfleet Poisoner can have our Dinosaur Hunter beat a Guiltgrove Stalker. Ooh, boy. We're bombarding a Mistbinder now to outrace our opponent. Feels like what we gotta do here. Yeah, that's way too much damage. If I just let it stick around. I mean, we'll attack in first, so maybe they'll take a trade, but I highly doubt that. Alright. Clear out the Mistbinder. Looking for another swamp so we can cast 2 of these. Would be ideal. But if we find a red spell, that's good too. Deadeye Wriggler is not that great against us, except our lack of swamps is the big issue. Yeah, if we had more swamps, that wouldn't be an issue at all, but... this is actually not great. Okay, I mean, we're still doing fine. We're pretty even on life totals. These are both unblockable, but it's just 3 damage a turn. We crack back for about the same. 1, 2, plus 6 is 10. I can deal lethal on the crackback if they don't play anything, but they're quite likely to play something. I think I have to be on the defensive here. And start trading these creatures off. Oh no, they didn't play anything? Well, they could also just have instants here to not die. Tempted. Just poke for 3. 1 extra damage this turn. Yeah, this isn't even a surprise blocker because all their creatures are unblockable. Yeah, I'll hit for 1 more damage and play Scoundrel holding up Bravado. And then next turn I can still do Poisoner plus Bravado for max damage, and maybe a kill out of nowhere. Alright, I mean they've got an instant of some kind. It does look like we're outracing them even just on board at this point. But they might have like a big combat trick to try to find lethal. Okay, we pray that it's not instant speed bounce and we attempt lethal this turn, I believe is the play. Because I can't block any of these and I just die to them next turn anyway. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10. This alone is lethal. Let's go for it. And then I still have a poisoner. Yeah, it's instant speed crashing tide. Gross. Alright, well, I mean, that's just game. Super close game. If we had the second swamp earlier to be able to double spell our creatures, that would have been like just enough gas, I think, to win here. But yeah, the poisoner only buffs attacking pirates, so I couldn't poison her on blocks here. I guess I could have still held Bravado on blocks to have a 3-power blocker against the 2-1 Guilt Stalker. But I think we played that out probably how you're supposed to. I don't know, I guess we were pretty sure they had an instant there. So maybe we could have had them on Crashing Tide. Hold the Bravado till the end of time. We'd still poke them down to 4 that turn. But then... yeah, no, I couldn't have played around Crashing Tide, because if I didn't play Bravado then, and I did hold up a creature to Bravado to actually block the Guiltgrove Stalker, then they would just bounce the blocker before I can declare the block, because I have to Bravado pre-block to make it 3 power to declare a block on Stalker. So I Bravado targeting it on the defensive, and then they Crashing Tide it and still win. So yeah, we did what we could. Again, if we had the second swamp slightly earlier to dump out the hand slightly quicker, I think we win that one. But there wasn't much we could do gameplay-wise. 1-1 it is, heading into game 3. Here we are on the draw for game 3. Super awkward hand mana-wise. 3 red cards with no red source. At least we're on the draw to try to get there, but I do think we mulligan. This is much better mana, but it's kind of slow. Ditch one of the 2-drops. We still have 2 2-drops without them, and we're only a 15-land deck, so we're not super likely to just like flood out from here. I keep a 3-lander. Yeah. And double swamp is valuable, since we do have a bit more black spells than red spells in the deck in general. Alright. Another green-blue Merfolk matchup with the super hard-to-block stuff like Guiltgrove Stalker and just the 1-mana 1/1 unblockables and all that. Silvergill Adept. Classic 2-mana 2/1 draw card. Incredible deal. Okay. Well, that's a great draw with the second swamp. We can just get a wide board state real quick here. I think I'm saving my removal for anything that buffs their whole board, like the Mist Binders and all that. Or maybe they have the Herald that gets a +1/+1 counter every time they play a Merfolk. World Shaper is a weird one. I mean, I guess I attack in holding a Moment of Craving, but if I Moment of Craving, I'm not casting anything else this turn anyway. So we can Bombard and just have the Moment of Craving for later. We can Moment plus Border in the same turn. Yeah, just Bombard and trade Dinosaur Hunter into the Adept. And then we kill this before they get any lands back. That's fine. Dinosaur Hunter for Silvergill Adept it is. They're down to 14. Curious Obsession. Incredible card. We are definitely going to have to Moment of Craving the Guiltgrove Stalker, but they've drawn at least 1 card off of it no matter what, so the Curious Obsession's already paid for itself. Oh god, now we have to kill a Deep-Root Elite. Counter onto the board every time they play a Merfolk. That's also super disgusting. Another border instead of a 5th land is awkward, because we really wanted to be able to double spell this turn. I mean, this sucks, because this thing's unblockable and it draws them another card every turn. I guess if I just play a 3/3, I can block it with a 3/3. And then I can still Moment of Craving the Deep-Root Elite. Yeah, this is awkward. They need to not have... If they have 2 merfolk in their hand, they can put 2 more counters on the stalker, and then we're just so dead. But if I Moment of Craving this, and then the Deeper Elite stays around, they keep playing more merfolk, we're going to have an issue too. But if I Moment of Craving this, they don't draw any more cards to draw extra merfolk. It's just 1 per turn maximum. Unless they just top deck like an absolute champion and hit multiple of the cards that make 2 merfolk. Just 2 must-kill threats with only 1 removal spell really is a bummer. I'm going to shut off the card draw here. Could have waited till they maybe played a merfolk there, but then they could have counter spells or like hexproof tricks up. And that would have been super bad if they had any of that. Land 5, you're actually useless now. Fashionably late. Literally 0 point. Would have been fantastic last turn though. Then I could have cast a border to threaten to block the 3-2 and hold up the Moment of Craving and don't cast it unless they try to buff the 3-2. Like last turn would have been so just astronomically better if we had that 5th land there instead of the border. Yep, now we're just getting 2 for 1 by herd collars and stuff. Just falling too far behind. Down a card for the mulligan, plus they're up cards from card draw. And 2 for 1s. There's their third 2 for 1 of the game. The second Silvergill Adept, and the Herd Color also is a 2 for 1 because it trades into 2 of our creatures. Yeah. Another game with this kind of like hyper aggro deck. You just have to hit your stuff at the exact right sequencing. The lands would have been so valuable 2 turns ago, and now they're completely worthless. Just little stuff like that. I guess no matter what our deck was doing, being down a card from the mulligan and playing against this many 2 for 1s would have been pretty hard to battle. But this is just rough stuff. Alright, we're not breaking through all this. We are 1-2 heading into game 4. Alright, here we are on the play. Multiple Grasping Scoundrels to start things off. We draw 1 land, we're just playing a never-ending stack of 3/3s. Draw into any bravados and removal and stuff, and we're golden. Alright, get on in there, Grasping Scoundrel. 1 mana 2/1 for 1 mana 2/1? No. Alright, I'm gonna keep the Poisoner around. Scoundrel also just trades into a 2/1 on the ground. Beautiful timing on the land this game. Very solid draw. Now we just start the 3/3 chain. Just never end the onslaught. That's a Canseer. Alright, Direfleet Poisoner. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Buccaneer's Bravado as well. No blocks with the Atsakan Seer, so we don't get to kill that. So let's just play a 3/3 then, since we're already trading. It's the most mana efficient play, and it lets us cast both of these in the same turn if we hit a 4th land, which can be really nasty. +2/+2 double strike. Can really close out a game. Hold up the blocker. Ooh. All bravado all day. I do love to see it. Show me the instant speed removal or die is definitely something we can go for. They do have 4 mana up to like destroy an attacking creature here. So and this hand is good enough that I think it's safe to just Poisoner up the Scoundrel and see what they got. And just wait a turn to go for lethal. Rather than getting blown out by the 4 mana destroy an attacking creature card. Bombard would also blow us out. But this way they're at 3 life and we still have 3 attackers for next turn. Squire's Devotion gives that lifelink and gives them another lifelinking blocker. Firebrand's a great, great draw. Now I shoot the other lifelinking blocker and I just Bravado for first strike. We probably could have also just Bravadoed for first strike to kill them without the Firebrand. Yeah, because we just first strike whatever gets through out of all these, and they die in the first strike step before they get to gain life. So we are now 2-2, heading into game 5. Here we are now for game number 5. No 1-drop is definitely slow for this deck. Plus I have to just play this as a 2-2 Death Toucher, which is a little sad, but I do not think we can mulligan very aggressively with this deck. Because we don't really have any card advantage here, we are just about dumping our hand and hoping for the best. I could have tried to block the Zealot, but I didn't want to put this thing at any risk. I want to get raid triggers off of it and all that. Okay, so yeah, if I tried to block, they would have Moment of Craving anyway. You know what? I do have a 1-mana Pirate in hand, so I think this is a perfectly reasonable usage of Buccaneer's Bravado to just keep this Poisoner around. Blank their removal spell, basically. If I didn't have a 1-drop Pirate to play that turn, I don't think I would have Bravadoed. I would have just played a 3-3. Did I Rig Holler? That is an interesting play. Give me my combat trick back? I guess it's the more expensive Pirate. But now I have a Death Touch combat trick if they ever get a big blocker down. Like a 3 toughness blocker for my Scoundrel. Yeah, I mean, I think it probably worked out better for them than it would have the other way. Because I would have been able to recast a 3-drop and a 1-drop a lot easier than the 2-drop here. Now I can Poisoner plus a 3-drop. So if they block Scoundrel with Zealot... Okay, well, thanks for the combat trick. I will win the fight. And then we replay the Corsair. Yep. They did not have a great bounce target with those Rig Haulers. We'll be fair about that. But it does feel really nice to get them with the combat trick that they gave me. Trailblazer, so I still get to put a creature on the board while hitting with everybody. We're down to 10. Don't really want to try to do that during their turn against a blue deck. Spell from Orazka, bounce the Trailblazer. Poke me down to 3. Drop a flyer. That's only a 2-power flyer, so they need a combat trick to kill me. I think we hold 3 blockers up on the ground to be safe. I guess this is 4 blockers, because I can cast both of these borders this turn. I'm a doofus. I should have poked with the Scoundrel as well. Okay, Moment of Craving. Still not dead yet, 3 blockers up. Plus Water Knot, still not dead, 2 blockers up. Well, I mean, if I didn't do it this way, I would just be dead, so there's that. But I think I'm still dead. Yeah. That was a lot of removal. Okay. Well, 2 and 3, it is pretty sad ending. I think this was a pretty fun, pretty powerful deck here, but these hyper aggro decks are pretty coin flippy, where it doesn't feel like you get to do a whole ton in the gameplay to affect the outcome. It's just really how are your draws going to line up. There's some games where we get like the Scoundrel into Trailblazer or Poisoner into border curves with Bravados in hand, and we just completely explode our opponent for free. But some games we just draw a couple too many lands and we fall behind. Maybe we don't start with a 1-drop, and it's just a little too slow in these aggro mirrors. I don't know. I think the deck was really good. I think it's well built, well drafted for the most part. We just hit the lower end of the spectrum of variance today. And this is the kind of deck that's pretty coin flippy with whether or not you're going to win or lose. I don't think there's a lot of choices to be made in a lot of those games. So, sad ending. I think this deck probably goes much better than that on average. I think this is another one of these 4 to 6 win on average kind of decks. We just hit nothing but aggressive mirror matches with our opponents being on the play some inopportune times, or just a lot of 2-for-1s from our opponents with all those 2-1s that draw cards and stuff like that. Just really, really low curve decks from pretty much every single opponent we played against, where this is the kind of deck designed to crush some of the slower builds, like green-black value, blue-white flyers, red-green or green-white dinos, red-green-white dinos. There's a ton of really good matchups for this deck, but we just hit a bunch of aggro mirrors where it's pretty much a coin flip, and we lost a lot of those coin flips at 2 and 3 today. But that is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you enjoyed this video and are interested in seeing more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in your recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.